Hello, beautiful people. Welcome to another powerful edition. I'm Naomi Tato, streaming live and direct from the City of Light, the City of Links, Dubai, United Arab Emirates. Yes, so the Hustle Playbook is a space where we bring you real stories, real conversation, and real people. The journeys behind the titles, the truth behind the success, and the lessons no one posts on their socials. So, wherever you are joining us from around the world, welcome, settle in, stay present, and let's get into today's conversation. So, today's guest is someone whose journeys speak resilience, growth, motherhood, and navigating life in today's world. And today, we are not just talking about what she's doing. However, we're going to be talking about how she became who she is. So I'm really excited for this conversation and welcome on board. I'm just definitely just going to bring in the guest. Hi, Teacher V. Hi. You're muted. Can you unmute, please?
Hello, good morning. How are you? Can you hear me now? Am I the one muted or her? Oh.
I can't hear
Uh,
you.
can you hear me now?
I can't.
Oh, I was asked to use my mic. Use my mic. Is it okay?
Okay, so let me ask if they can hear us.
Is it okay?
Because I can't hear.
Oh,
I can see
is there a
clearly,
way?
but I can't hear
No.
you. Yeah. Okay. No worries.
Hold on.
Let's see. Can you hear me?
Hello. Let's see. I don't know if it's working now. Which-
Hello.
Can you hear now?
Hello.
Hi. I hope this is not what my tomorrow.
Oops. I'm trying to disconnect the speaker. So let me see if it works. Okay. Hello. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you very well.
Okay, so okay, I'm just getting here now. All right.
Oh my God.
So how are you doing today, Teacher B?
I'm okay, fine. Dealing with Dubai rain this morning. It's good. Looks like the words come
Oh,
like
okay,
few
no worries.
seconds after.
So I would just love for you to, yeah, definitely maybe it's the connection or the network. Something is happening somewhere that I can't really figure it out. So,
Because you speak, I see you talking, then I get what you're saying like few seconds after.
oh, okay, all right, understood. So,
Okay, brief intro. There's not so much to say about
yes.
me. Like you all know, my name is Becky Tazo. I'm a Cameroonian living in the UAE, and I'm a mom. I'm an early years educator. That's just it.
Mhm.
Did you hear?
Oh, can you just repeat yourself, please? I don't know network. I don't know from which side, but it's okay.
But did you hear what I said before?
No, I did not get you. Sorry.
Can I switch to my phone?
All right, if you can, then it's fine. It means you have to download the streaming. Try with your phone. If you can, then it's fine.
Why am I seeing two? Okay, I didn't turn off this one.
All right, so ladies and gentlemen, we are trying to have our guests organize her streaming equipment. So if you are watching me, just drop where you're watching us from because this is going to be a constant live event we'll be having from people across the globe. So if you are maybe in the US and you think you have some stories that can actually motivate and inspire other people, then you can hit me on my DMs if YouTube or they're going to reply. You can say yes. Then you at the stage.
Is it perfect now?
It's good now.
Okay. So I knew my phone would be better. Sorry guys. I'm trying to figure it out for my first time. All right. Can we start?
No worries. Yeah, we can. So, can you introduce yourself to the audience and who you are, what you're currently doing in Dubai, and how long you've been here?
Okay, so my name is Becky Tazo. I'm a Cameroonian based in the UAE. I moved here in 2019. So since 2019 to date, I currently work as an early years educator in a prestigious early childhood center. And I teach children between the ages of 4 to 5, 5 to 6.
Mhm.
And I've taught all the age groups though, but now I'm currently teaching FS2 class in early years. So I've been in Dubai for 7 years, or I've been through, let's say, I've had my own share of the Dubai hurdles. And yes, by the grace of God, this is where I am today.
Oh, okay. Thank you so much for giving me like before you came over to the United Arab Emirates.
So back home, I studied banking and finance first. So I've done, like they say, so many other hustles. One time I was a back tailor in UBC. After UBC, I moved to our family business where I was the admin assistant. I worked there in the family business. Then that was when I decided to move to UAE. So that's been my back home. I was in the finance field back home before I came to UAE and everything just changed. So,
Okay.
oh, am I alone? I'm not seeing you.
No, you're not alone. I'm here. No, because when you're speaking, I have to put you on solo. Then when I'm asking the question, I can actually bring you back divided
Okay.
screen so that it should be interactive. It should not be like one screen all through. Yeah, because we're trying to make it to be like a podcast. So it's like different conversation, different faces. So we cannot have one frame like all through the
Okay.
conversation. All right. So we need to know what prompted you to leave. You said you were a bank teller in your home country. So why did you leave? And why did you
Yeah,
consider the United Arab Emirates?
I would say this conversation is actually a very hard one for me. Uh, I worked in the bank. Later, I joined the family business. I was at, let me say, a rock bottom time of my life. It was a very challenging period. I had a lot of life challenges at that time, and it even pushed me right up to the point of being suicidal. So when I recovered from the
Okay.
hospital after that, and I was referred to a psychologist in Lakentini Hospital. So the person had been following up. He was like, what if I just, leave the country and change of environment, new place, whatever is going to
Okay.
give me that's fresh start that I need to really calm down my
Mm-hmm.
mind so it could help so I don't relapse again. And with my
Okay.
budgets, I thought of other options actually. I thought of Europe, I thought of America, I thought of all the other options, but let's just say UAE was what my budget could afford at the moment. And
Okay.
that's why I just wanted to get out. Like I just wanted to leave. So with the budget I had at hand, that was what I could afford. That was just the reason I picked UAE. So the plan was to come here, maybe make more money, and then I move. So I will come and then maybe top up the budget, and then I move to somewhere else. So that was
Mm-hmm.
just the original plan when I was leaving. And that was just it.
Okay. All right. No worries. Thank you so much. So, do you remember your first days in Dubai?
Oh my
What
God.
surprised you the most when you just landed the first 5 days?
Ah,
What was it like? Can you just give us like very good
ah.
explanation?
It's like UAE did not prepare me. I was mentally orientated about the place. I knew knew it was not going to be all that rosy. It was not going to be, but the shock when I arrived, and then I had rented a place where I'll be living. It was somewhere in Ajaflia. Those who know Satwa very well. The day I landed, it was like in August. You know the August sun of July, right? You know how the sun is very hot in August. So the day I landed, that same day, the villa was closed. So I was just coming from the airport,
Oh,
and there was no lights, no sun, no electricity, no AC, nothing. So my first 3 days were like a horror movie. I had to start looking for a house. Again, I was jumping from place to place. Thank God for good friends that I called, and some were housing me from one day to another while I look for a place to move to. So the first 3 days, I was like, nah, I got to go back. Let me better go back to Cameroon and die there. And what is this? And the sun too was like killing in August, the peak of that sun. So it was horrible, but I really wanted to go back. Actually, I wanted to leave, but I was at a point in my life where, when I think of the reason why I finally decided to move to the UAE, I was like, this is where you are now. So just embrace it and deal with it rather than going back. If you go back, you know why you left. So if you're going back, it's going to be worse. So my first days were really horrible, but I'm happy I could find my way around it. With time, I got used to it.
oh, okay. All right. So can we just know the biggest adjustments you had to make when you first arrived?
Oh,
Because probably
housing.
you were already working in the
Yeah,
in Cameroon. You
housing.
said you're Cameroon, and you were already working, and you came here. So, and
Yeah.
probably
The,
okay. All
the
right.
first one was the housing. I was like, what the hell? I had like a big house. I had like, my space. So when I came and I was
Mm-hmm.
like directed to where I'm supposed to be living, I was like, excuse me.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm here. Then you take me to my house, right? They were like, no, you're going to be staying here. So that was like the most shocking thing for me. I'm a border though. I am kind of I'm used to the setting. But I'm used to that setting when I was in boarding school, not like a daily living standard, you understand? So it was a little bit shocking for me, but yeah, I had to gradually adapt to it. And another funny but weird thing that was shocking to me, I've never been to a Muslim country, so I was not used to hearing all the sounds from the mosque. I'm like, why is everywhere so loud? Why are they screaming? So it was, it took me time to get used to it, though. But the housing was my greatest shock, and I had to find my way around it. It was good though.
Okay, all right. Thank you so much for giving us that small summary of how life has been so far. So let's get over to your career journey. How did your career journey begin after you arrived in Dubai? Because you said you were into accounting, or you had a degree in account, and you had to work as a teller in one of the banks in your home country. So just
Mm.
make us to understand how was like the first phase of your career before venturing, because you're a teacher right now, right? So before
Mm.
venturing to the teaching side of things, how was the career search? How did you maneuver life? Yes.
So when I arrived that was in August. I had, that was when they still gave 3 months visa, right? It was still 3 months visa at that time. I was on a tourist visa. So I had to get a job before that 3 months goes by. And I was just looking for anything. First, I wanted to get into my field, but I was like, so I'm a graduate. I have a banking certificate. I could maybe work as one of these exchange, in this exchanges, this money exchange. I was seeing all over the place. I tried, it did not go. So I had to start reducing the expectations gradually. So I went from the teller, I dropped it, I started looking for anything. That was like 2 months past, and I had not yet had a job. So my visa was, I had like just 20 or 30 days left for the visa to expire. And I didn't really have much money to go for a visa change. So I started doing just anything. I went from housekeeping. The first job I got was a housekeeping job. I went there for about a week. Oh my God. There was no visa for me. The people that were working there, they kept complaining that they will not get visas. So they don't give visas. So I had to leave from the housekeeping job. I went to a restaurant, the first restaurant I walked in. It was so stressful. I had to sit like for 12 hours straight. It was like a cultural shock to me that I'm not used to standing for that long. So my feet will hurt and all that. So about 1 week, a week or two after, I had to leave that restaurant too. And then I moved I later got another job in a restaurant, one Italian restaurant. There it was better. It was much more, I could say, it was more accommodating. And so I stayed there. They had to do my visa. They kept prolonging. The good thing is they sent me for visa change when my visa expired. So the restaurant sponsored me for my visa change. So I had at least, I think, about a month or two again extended on my visa. And when it expired, they still did not process the visa. So I think that was around December now, around December or November. So we had like this, I think it was a group of teachers that came in for their end of term or like Christmas party celebration. They came to the restaurant. So while they were eating, and some of them were speaking French and some were speaking English, it was kind of a French school. And so I served them and we were just communicating. I was communicating in French with those who were speaking French. That's how I became friends with one of the teachers. We exchanged contacts and she was like, "Oh, you speak so well. You speak French." I said, "Yes." She was like, "Where are you from?" I said, "I'm from Cameroon." She invited me to the church. I started going to church with her. And so one day in their school, they needed a TA and they needed someone that is bilingual. So she called me, and that was how I got the TA job. That was like my entry level into the TA job. And after the TA job, I started doing catch. So I started doing my catch when I got the TA job. I enrolled for catch. So when I met in the school, I was also very nice. The owner of the school, he was such an amazing person. The proprietor was so good. So he encouraged me. He was like, "You're so good. Why can't you become a teacher? You know, you will be so good with kids." I said, "Okay, fine." And he spoke to one institution that I enrolled in. So the school works like in partnership with the institution. So they kind of helped me. I got enrolled and we came up with the instrumental payments that I had to pay every month. And that was how I did catch for 1 year. 1 year later, COVID came, everything back to another square zero. So that was just how I entered the teaching field.
Oh, okay. All right. So, so it means you worked as a waiter. Just hold on. Let me go back
Yes,
to the
yes.
topic.
I was a waiter in an Italian restaurant then.
Yeah.
So
So,
it was just because of the way I was communicating, and that was what the teachers picked interest in. So
okay.
I was their waiter for that day.
All
So
right.
yeah,
All right. And then someone you, oh, you can be a teacher. And from there, you went to do the cashier.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
All right, so can you just walk us through the process of becoming a teacher in UAE? Because probably some people may be watching or they watch later and they are in need of becoming a teacher. And you know, sometimes when people come here, even with their first degrees, and they don't even know where to start from. So if you can
Yeah.
enlighten us, walk us through the process of becoming a teacher, someone, it could be helpful and motivational and inspiring to someone who is watching or could
Mm.
watch later. Yeah.
First thing I want to say, I'm so grateful for the fact that a lot of people are actually beginning to get into the field of the skilled labor market, especially us Africans. Most people, like 5, 6 years back, most Africans were not really into the skilled labor market that much. That's one thing I'm really happy. A lot of people are beginning to get into it. For the teachers, what the most common one will say it's the nursery teachers, right? Because it's kind of easier to get into. So a lot of people always tend to look at the early years sector. That is, when I say early years, I mean the nursery sector. So for that, different schools, different institutions,
Yeah.
they have their own requirements for the course. But the basic ones, you need to have like a bachelor's degree. Some people take even those who have HNDs. You have a bachelor's or HND, then you can register for your catch. The catch is divided into level 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So the level 1 is for those who want to be nannies. Level 2 is for teaching assistants. Level 3 is for room leaders, that's classroom teachers. Level 4 is for those who are into SEN coordination, those who are into special needs teachers, inclusion teachers. And then we have level 5, which is for managers. So each of these levels have their own requirements. So I'll speak for the teachers, which is the level 3. The level 3, you need a bachelor's and you need a bachelor's or maybe your high school
Okay.
diploma. Some centers will take those who have HNDs, but some centers, like I said, it depends on the center you're using. So once you get that, you get your catch course. It's a 12 months program. It's going to take you maybe 9 months of academics, classroom theories and academics. Then you're going to write a project, what we call the longitudinal study. And then it needs you to complete some internship hours also. Then you get awarded the certificate. Once you get the certificate, you're going to, this one will be done by maybe your employer. They will get the certificates, they get your bachelor's degree, they'll submit it to the KSGA, and then they're going to give you your teaching license. So that's just it. But for other fields, I don't know if you want me to talk just about the teachers or maybe for the primary and other fields. It's okay.
No, you can talk about all because we have some people watching from YouTube. So you can talk about all, just to educate people. Because, as I said earlier, some people come here with first degrees and they don't know how to maneuver the system. And the next thing you're hearing, oh, this is not fruitful. It's not what I taught. It's not this. It's not that. And that's because most of us come here. We don't know how to manipulate the system. We came here with no orientation. We're just clustered in Abu Hill, and it's
Mm,
it's really detrimental when you're clustered with only Cameroonians and that good information that can actually make people to see the light is not there, or probably is there, but some people are like gatekeepers for it. Yeah. So just enlighten some of us, let's know what it is like, because you told me you did your master's degree here. So from enlightening us, you can take us through doing a master's degree here, so that people should understand, because some people really want to follow their studies, but they don't know how to go about it. So if you can actually help us, we'll be very
okay.
grateful. Yeah.
So like I Yeah, like I said earlier, for the catch 1 and catch 2, those are for nannies and teaching assistants. Teaching assistants are like those helping the main class teacher in the classroom. They do the catch level 2. For them, all they need is a high school diploma and that's it. You can do the catch level 2. Now, for catch 3, for teachers, you need a BSc and then maybe you register for the course 12 months and you're done. For level 3,
Level 3 is for teachers. Level 4 is for those who are passionate about working with children with disabilities, or let me say neurodiverse children, and you want to work as maybe an inclusion teacher, or you want to have the opportunity to be doing sessions with children that are neurodiverse, you can go for the catch level 4. It's called Senko. Now, the level 5 is for teachers who want to become managers, or maybe you want to work as the head of an early childhood center or a daycare center. So you can do the catch level 5. That's diploma in early childhood leadership. Now, most people are common, they know more of the catch courses. There are a lot of courses you can do. What is trending now is more of the catch, and there's another entry level, some entry level courses. People who have not been in the field of education and they want to get into the field, they likely go through the shorter routes of doing this entry level special needs courses like LSA, ABAT, RBT, ABA. These are all entry level courses into the field of special education needs. So some of them, they go for those courses because it takes a shorter time to complete, it's more affordable, and it's like just an entry level into the field. So once they get that access into the classroom, they can now do the catch level 3, or they can now do the catch level 4. But if you're somebody who already has maybe a bachelor's degree and you have catch level 5, there are other options you can grow in the field, like maybe moving to bigger schools, to the primary sector or secondary sector. You can consider growing again by doing maybe your master's degree in education or master's in educational leadership. You can do your postgraduate diploma in education. You can do postgraduate certificate in education. The difference between these ones and the catch is, with a master's degree, it is more worldwide accepted. And when you have maybe a postgraduate diploma in education, it also has some benefits that a lot of people don't know. But if you do PDGE, postgraduate diploma in education, it comes with, it's a dual certificate. It's dual in the form that you have the certificate and you have QTS. Before doing it, you need to ask the institution if it's going to be a dual qualification. Normally, it's supposed to be dual. Some people don't know it. So they do it, they get the certificate, and then they still have to go and spend more money to get QTS. QTS is qualified teacher status. So if you do after your catch, or maybe you've had catch, you can go for postgraduate diploma in education. This, most primary and secondary schools, that is what their teachers are asked. They require for primary and secondary school teachers, and they will require them to have QTS, qualified teacher status. Advantage of having QTS is it opens room for you to teach in Europe, New Zealand, Australia, all these other European countries, that if you go there and you already have PDGE and you have the QTS, qualified teacher status, it's easier for you to teach in those areas. So I always advise anybody that comes to me, like after your catch, if you want to further, and you know you don't want to stay you're not going to be staying in the UAE for long, what is more beneficial is you try to look at the postgraduate diploma, or you look at masters in education or masters in educational leadership. Those are the next steps that, if you want to grow in the field, you can look at. Catch 5 is good, but it limits you to early years. You can work as a man in management in early years settings. So if you're somebody that you want to spread maybe your net across, you can go for the postgraduate diploma, especially the one that is going to come with QTS, because it's going to open you to even schools outside the country. You can apply for jobs even outside the country. Now, some people come from home, they have maybe CAPIAM, they have ENS, they have all these our teaching qualifications. I'm citing the ones I know from Cameroon. Maybe you come from another country and yours is different. You have maybe a teaching qualification you had from back home, and you're here in the UAE with it. rather than going to enroll for a brand new course, what you can do is go to the website of Nigeria and get an equivalence of the qualification. What they will ask you for the equivalence will be the qualification, the transcript of the course. They need to see what was covered in the course, and please make sure it's in English because they don't understand French. So if the qualification and the transcript is in French, you need to translate it to English. So you can go there, you apply for an equivalence of the qualification. So UAE is going to like grade it according to they'll evaluate the qualification and they will give you a grading as per their UAE qualifications grading. So they can evaluate your ENS course and they say, okay, this is equivalent to a catch 3 or a catch 2. So that's what I mean. So you can get an equivalence from that. With the equivalence, you can now access into the field of education. That's another way some people come in also, rather than going to study all over again and spending money to pay for a course all over again. Now, once you're in, you can now start looking for other ways to move forward and other courses you can do to move ahead. I think I answered the question. Sorry if hello.
I'm so sorry. The network. Yeah. Okay. So thank you so much for giving us the run through on how we could become teachers, or possibly for those who are listening to us. Let's ask this question: what are some of the biggest challenges teachers face in the UAE?
As teachers, ah, there are a lot of them. Uh, for me, I would say it's the diversity of the UAE. You know, UAE is like one of the most diverse countries you can think of. We have children from all over the globe. So your classroom is so diverse. You you can have children from different cultures, so it kind of puts you, the teacher, in a position. In I don't know, I can put it on a hotspot. You're cultural sensitive. You're also, you have to abide by the UAE laws. You have to, it's a bit of a hotspot. Somebody that is a teacher will understand what I'm saying. So that's trying to always balance the cultural differences of diversity of so many children in the classroom. Some things that are acceptable in this culture may not be acceptable in this culture, and you have to try to abide by the UAE culture and traditions also. So it's a bit of a hot spot for the teachers in the classroom. Now, another challenge, I will not really call it a challenge, but yeah, it's a reality we teachers face, is recent, it's what we call the native speakers myth. Those who are teachers, they understand what I mean by the native speakers myth. So as African teachers, most often when we apply for jobs, I've had that also. I had schools tell me, no, we're looking for someone from UK, or looking for someone from, England, or looking for someone from America. So there is that native speakers myth also. So it makes it a little bit very challenging and tough for us. But I have learned to make it work in my favor. So um, I tell my friends that you just have to be too good in a way that they cannot ignore you. When you're so good in a way that you cannot be ignored, then they will look past the native speakers myth. Because speaking a language, when you're speaking a language, it's completely different from you breaking a curriculum into teachable bites and carefully guiding children through the learning process. So whether there is a native speaker, whether I'm African, the fact that I have the skills to do this, I still have competitive advantage. So we just have to be too good to be ignored. And this thing goes deeper in a way that it even affects, even it goes deeper to the wage rates also. So when you look at the wages, you still see that native speaker myth inside. But like I said, if you are be too good that they cannot ignore you, when you're so good, they will not be able to ignore you. So you always find your way to get that competitive advantage above everything. That's just how I manage it.
All right, thank you so much, Teacher B, for what you've given us because I've been in the education sector before, but in the administrative side,
Mm.
I don't know about the pay package because I was being paid well. However, I know when it comes to especially because I worked for
Mm.
higher education, not for the primary side or the elementary side. So, but I hear this a lot from people who work in the in the elementary or the lower side that their salaries are being done as per the passport and so on. But I
Yeah,
love the fact that you came up to say, "Oh, you have a way of navigating it through. If you're too good, there's they cannot sideline you, which is a very
yeah,
good thing, of which sometimes our Africans don't see it that way. It diminishes some people from within to think that because of the passport, even though they have the skills, they cannot
yeah.
get what they are due. But I will tell you for
Mm.
free, I've always said this and I'll say it very honestly. I said, we as Africans, we need to learn how to negotiate ourselves properly. We need to learn how to navigate the
Yeah,
market. We need to learn how, when they give you an offer, you don't think that offer is the best for you, learn how to walk away, or better still, you can negotiate to your satisfaction. Even if not to your
yeah,
satisfaction, it's going to meet you halfway. But what I've noticed over time
yeah,
is our African brothers and sisters, they will just, whatever they give them, they accept them. Like the first offer
yeah,
is normally the
yeah,
lowest offer,
yeah,
and but that's what our
yeah,
African brothers run with. I don't know if it's something to do with desperation, or it's something that has to do with something else, or they are, the visa thing too is another thing that normally
mm,
put people on the hotspot. Like, okay, my visa is about expiring if I don't get this, or I've been out of job for a very long time if I don't get this. But the truth is, there is dignity in struggle, and you need to actually learn to walk away if something is not befitting. Right. So
yeah, yeah.
thank
That's really true.
thank you so much for giving us that hotspot. That oh, let's go to motherhood because I know you're married. I know you have a baby here, and having a baby in the UAE,
Hmm.
most people see themselves doing. So can you just tell us, just tell us how your motherhood has shaped your journey so far in the UAE? Yeah.
Ooh. That's amen. I'm so happy and I'm proud that when I walk around these days, I see a lot of Africans having their babies here. They're moving around with their children. It's like I said, I'm really proud of the African community, honestly. 5, 6 years back, if they see you, an African child in this country, it shows you. But a lot of Africans are beginning to embrace it, which is so good. I feel like we are getting to that realization that these things are actually doable. We can do them here. So for me, I have a baby, I have a son, and trust me, it is not easy because you know how crazy the work schedules in this country are. Your schedule alone, as a person alone, is jam-packed. You wake up, you're struggling to go to work. Once you come back from work, you're like exhausted, you just want to sleep. Then imagine adding a baby to it. So it's really, really not easy. I applaud any mommy in this country that has babies in this country because it's really challenging. Now, one of the benefits I could say is especially those of us who are in the field of education. Some of our schools are so helpful. Like, they are really, really helpful. Like, we get to take the children to school, and they school for free, and they go with us to school. So it just kind of takes that burden off, the burden of nanny worrying about where the child will be while you're going to work or while you're working. So it takes that stress off us, which is something very good. I really appreciate, especially the schools that offer that service to moms in the UAE. It is so helpful. Trust me. Tuition here is not bread. It's not easy. Then if you have to do tuition and do nanny, so it's a lot. So some schools provide that benefits for their staffs where you can bring your child. Now, for me, my personal journey, I would say it is not easy at all. But one thing I'm grateful for is each step of my life, like each challenge that has come up in my life, God has kind of just put the people I need that need to give me that help that I need. So throughout every step of my life, from my pregnancy journey, I had the pregnancy here. Went through the birth, delivery, everything here. So I just had like people in throughout each step of that were helping me through it. And being a mom in the UAE has taught me one thing. It's it has really it has I can say it has proved the depth of my friendships in this country. Trust me, it's not easy. It kind of like it showed me the depth of my friendships in this country. I had friends that would just, sacrifice, even if it's their one day they have off, they will come to help me around with the baby. So it's really helpful. They were really, really helpful. But for moms, it's not easy. It's a crazy journey. But I'm happy. A lot of African mummies are daring and taking the bold step to do that, which is so good. And if you're not in the school, you don't work in the education field, then you have to start thinking of maybe getting someone to help at home with the kids while you're going to work, or all those little adjustments. It's a lot of stress, especially on the mom. Then compared to your work stress and all that. It's not easy, but we are trying to find a balance. Like I said, I view my motherhood like I'm juggling balls. I have like this a lot of balls in my life, like my school work, church work, everything, wife, mother, everything. So I'm just trying to find a balance with the balls I'm juggling in my hands all together. So every day, every step, I'm figuring it out.
All right, so let's get over to you telling us the challenge abroad. So let's hear, because some of us are not yet married, we don't have children yet. So we want to know what are the challenges. And we also want to know if the country you're living in is actually supportive of working mothers.
Like I said, the major challenge I had was whew, it's not easy to just, when we are back home and you are pregnant, you have maybe your mom, your sisters, your aunties, they can easily come around, you get, and they'll be very helpful with you at home or even through the birth process. So it's if you do not have anybody, trust me, it's not going to be an easy ride for you. Somebody like me, my mom is of late, so my mother-in-law is Nigerian, so the visa issues with Nigerians, so I could not get somebody to come and support me. It was like a huge, huge burden for me. I wanted to bring someone, but I could not bring someone, like call someone easily to come. So that was the main challenge I had. Another major challenge is the cost. Oh Lord, cost of having babies. Trust me, babies are not cheap in UAE. So the cost is over here, over there. But if you have a good insurance, that's where I say maybe the health sector is helping, because once you have a good insurance, yeah, it can like help with the bills, it can help you navigate with the bills. And that I give it. And some things also, some of the things they tend to like give us for free, like the vaccinations and co. So the hospitals, some hospitals offer free vaccines to children, which is something that if you want to monetize it, it's going to be a whole lot also. So that's like them being very helpful and supportive. Plus the fact that, some schools offer that care, they offer that accommodations for the children. So it helps you, the working mom, to not worry about where the child is. So it's really being helpful to support those who are trying to raise families here. So they have those, little help they offer here and there that really goes a long way to help people that are having children here.
All right, Teacher B, thank you so much. Thank you for giving us that. I actually also want to know, how do you personally manage work and personal time? Because that's something too. If you're a mom, you have the house and you have a baby. So how do you blend in with with your work, with your family, and your personal time?
Oof. Hey, if I tell you it's easy, I'm lying. Trust me, it's very challenging. Sometimes I don't even have time to look at my phone like this. I don't. When I tell somebody that, they will not really get it, they cannot really understand. But one thing I've learned with motherhood is I've learned to plan everything down. Last year, when I was even studying for my postgraduate, I was pregnant. So you can imagine, I graduated at 39 weeks to my delivery day. So the struggle started from there. So I had already started learning how to program myself. I try to plan ahead of time. So if, for example, I have weekends, I know Saturday and Sunday, I need to use it to do things around the house. Maybe I need to do cleaning, I need to do cooking. I cook for the entire week. I stock it in the fridge. So for the child, I can be doing the daily cookings. That is not such a big deal. Or I can do the cooking in the night. And since he's going to be in the nursery with me, what I do is I know these are the things I have to get for him for the nursery, diapers, wipes, everything. I plan all that during the weekend so that, the week, it gets so busy during the week that I don't even have that time to do that. So I organize myself that way. So by Sunday evening, I make sure I have packed all the dresses he will be wearing for the entire week. I literally have to label them Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. I have to label the food he's going to eat also for the entire week. I have like a plan of everything I need to do. And then we have the husband too. You need to schedule all that also. And then my own self. And then maybe I have to do lesson plans. I have to correct the lesson plans. I have to do evaluations for the kids. So I just schedule everything down like that. Within the weekends, that's when I'm even more busy. Then, if I go to work, maybe there are things I could not complete at work when I come back home. And I would say one of the greatest blessings I have is a husband that is very supportive. So, from time to time, he does some of the works also. He takes the burden off me. So, most often, he's there to always come in and help around. It's like a blessing. So, it kind of just reduces the load on me. So, generally, it is not easy. It's just proper planning and That's how we navigate around it. Just make sure you plan in future, plan before the things happen. If you leave it that you want to do it on that day, trust me, it's going to be a mess. You will end up going to school late because you did not prepare what the baby has to wear to school or has to eat the next morning. You barely sleep even. Ah God, you don't sleep. As a mom, your sleep is like you just go to bed, put your head down, get up, you have to start. Then imagine if you have like say 2 or 3 children. So double that by 2 or 3. It's crazy, trust me. But you just have to plan. Like I said, proper planning. That's just how we navigate our way through. And if you have a partner that is very supportive like mine, so it makes things a little bit easier also.
All right, thank you so much, Tisha B, for expat reality, because normally some people see Dubai as a dream destination. So
Ah,
we actually want to know what is like the reality of living here, and what are the misconceptions that people have about life in Dubai.
that's a very nice question. I want to answer it first for those who are here in the UAE and for those who are not in the UAE. So, for those who are outside the UAE, I would say especially Africa. I don't know if you've also noticed there is this uh, um I'm looking for a word for it, stigma about those who are in the UAE. They feel like those who are in the UAE, everybody living here is poor. You understand? They'll be like, uh, I don't know if you've heard this slang when people say like, ah, yeah, in Dubai, ah, nabush that. So, these small misconceptions of if you're here, you're poor, you're not doing anything good with your life. That's one of the highest misconceptions people have about this country because they don't understand that if you're here and maybe you're in a skilled labor sector, you're way better off. You can make a lot of money, you can make a good life here, you can have a good life, you can do everything that anybody else that is in another country can also do. And the advantage is UAE is still, it gives us tax-free income. That is one big advantage that a lot of people do not understand until you leave this country. You go to those countries that tax your income, then you will understand what Dubai is doing to you. So just that fact that we have tax-free income, yes, we may pay tax here and there on commodities, but if your income is tax-free, trust me, it's a huge benefit for us. So that's just the misconception. I know this comes mostly for those who are outside the UAE. They have that misconception of, oh, life in Dubai is more of the suffering, it's more of there are poor people that go to the country. But trust me, living here, it's expensive. So if somebody is able to live here, make a life here, that person is doing really well for themselves. They are trying and they are very well off. Now, to those who are here in the UAE, I'm happy that a lot of people are getting that realization that aside from the unskilled labor market, we can also get into the skilled labor market. I see a lot of Africans now that are HRs, that are into, you know, teaching, they're into health and safety, they're getting into the skilled labor market, which was not the case like 5 6 years back. So most people, when they come, they knew, okay, if you're not a waiter, you're a cleaner. If you're not a cleaner, you're a security guard. They were all around the unskilled labor sector. So I'm happy that misconception, people are beginning to turn away from that and beginning to realize that no, we too can get into the skilled sector of it. That's very good. Now, another misconception a lot of people have is UAE, like I said, I already mentioned it, the income part of it, the money, if I go to another place, I may earn better or I may get a better salary. You're forgetting that what you're earning here, if you want to compare yeah, some other countries have more benefits, more they're more well off in terms of how their systems operate. But if you still compare their systems with the UAE, you will still see that there is still some level of, I can say, it's better off. There is still that little level of it's better off, especially for those who have families, because there it's more challenging. If maybe I would take, for example, a place like Canada, if you have like 2 or 3 children, first, the kind of house you will need to rent is already a challenge. UAE can give you a 1 bedroom apartment, even if you have 2 children or 3 children. Canada, you can't get that. So you see that there's just these small, small benefits that the country still offers that a lot of people have misconceptions about it. They'll always feel like, I have friends that have moved to US and they're telling me, my children, they're going all over the place. I can't even discipline them. I have lost control over my children. So you see those little, little misconceptions of it's better elsewhere. I cannot have it here. You can have it here. You can build a good life here. You can have that dream job here. You just need to walk your way through it. And a lot of people are getting that realization now, which is very, very good.
All right. Thank you so much, Teacher V, for that. We normally hear people say UAE is the land of opportunities. So the next
Mm.
question is like, what opportunities have you experienced in the UAE, and that might not have had it somewhere else. Before that, before you answering the questions, like let me talk about my own misconceptions that I've heard. First of all, when they see you in the UAE, they just know, for example, that you are a no-do-well. Like for us that are from
Yeah.
West Africa, every of us
Mhm.
like or from maybe Cameroon especially, Cameroonians
Mm.
especially. I'm so sorry that I have to bring this out,
Yeah.
right? They will just say, uh, probably well, maybe you did not do well at school, or probably you drop out. That's
Mhm.
why you are here, and that's the biggest misconception. I would say, and when you tell them you are earning a certain salary, they will just think you are lying. Like the other day, I
Yes.
posted something on my WhatsApp status, and they were looking for a personal assistant to work for these ultra high net worth individuals. They term them UNHWI. So to work for them, and the salary range was 80,000 to 100,000. And one of my friends saw it because he's in the West. He saw it and he was just like, for where? This is a very small salary now. I'm just like, for a PA role, are you okay? Like sometimes they always want to downplay those in the UAE, no matter
Yes.
how successful your
Yes.
life is, no
Mm.
matter how strong your skills are, they'll just want to downplay. And I would put it that it's us in the UAE that is actually giving them that headlight, because when any
Yeah.
small thing would happen, the UAE people will always just be with their cameras to pick it up and show it to the media. I said, now person way, he show it on house, dating launches for outside. The general public is
Yeah.
definitely going to know what's actually happening in his house. You understand me? Because I said people sell out where they are like it's some heaven on earth. Of course, it's not heaven on earth. Every place has its pros and its cons. That's why I'm
Yeah.
making this podcast. Yeah, I'm not only
Mm.
interviewing people in UAE, or I'm interviewing people from Japan, I'm interviewing people from Canada, I'm interviewing people from the US, I'm interviewing people live and direct, right? So they will
Mm.
definitely give us what it is like living in those places, because we
Yeah.
are tired of hearsay. You understand me? We are tired of, if said this or said that. Yeah, so just tell us the kind of opportunities that UAE has given you over time, and so that people will definitely understand. Yeah.
One of the greatest one, I would say, it's in education. UAE is a country where if you're determined, you can come here as an illiterate and you leave with a PhD. That's the I don't know if people really understand it. In terms of education, if you're serious, you can come here as an illiterate and you leave with a PhD. It's doable. It's it may not be free, but they are flexible with it, right? So it gives you that room to grow. It gives you that room to grow. And the economy itself, this goes to my friends who are in the maybe real estate or in the field of business. It is very, very good for people like that. If you want, you can sit here in the UAE and you easily set up maybe a business. It could be buying and selling online or back home. I see a lot of people that do that. They buy from here, they send back home and they sell. They're making side money and hustling from there. Yes, you can do that from other countries, but you're going to pay tax on them. You're going to pay heavy tax on them. So just the fact that the tax system of the UAE turns to favor us more, I think is a very big opportunity that a lot of people do not see it as a huge opportunity. I still tend to look at it like the tax system is meant to favor the layman in the UAE. It's so good and it's a huge opportunity. And yeah, some countries they have the advantage of their passport can take them to other places. Those of us in Africa, just having a UAE Emirates ID, you can visit. There are a list of other countries around here you can visit just because you have an Emirates ID. So it's also a huge opportunity that I look at it as an opportunity too. So people can travel around just because they are residents and they are employees in this country. That's an added advantage for me too. That will be my two examples.
Okay, no worries. Thank you so much. All right, so let's get into what just happened because with what just the strikes and everything, people are saying all sorts of things and the Western media is going crazy. So do you think what happened, the strikes, do you think actually is going to affect your job here in the UAE, or are you thinking that something greater is going to come up?
One thing I can say is if UAE could survive COVID, it can survive anything. You see this country, if they could survive COVID, they can survive anything. That's it's for sure. I'm beating my chest about it because, and I am so grateful that they always just find their way around things. It's what UAE is like one of the most prepared countries I've ever seen in this life. Like they are so prepared. They have like standby plans for everything. That is the benefit and the joy of being in a country, just knowing that I don't know what they're planning, but I just know they got me. You understand? You know, when you just have that feeling of they got it. Yeah. So right now, especially the highest people that are being affected right now, say is the education sector. Yes, some other sectors are affected, but speaking for the education sector, it's going to affect us large and big. First, we are not going to school, so we are back to distance learning, which is first of all a huge, huge different level of work and stress. So when we now go back to the classroom, we have that gap in the learning distance. So we have lost like close to a month now already of classroom. So imagine losing a month of classroom work. That's already a huge, huge task on the teachers, on the management and everything. So as parents, or maybe as parents who have paid tuition for their children, now they are unable to send the children to school. That's also another huge, huge problem there. So they have the children at home, they cannot send the children to school. The management needs to pay staff. The parents are not paying fees because the children are not going to school. So you understand the whole it's a little bit very tricky right now. So how do we balance the whole thing? Like the KSG is trying to keep the children safe. At the same time, employers are having the struggle of no income coming in. Now, employees also have the struggle of where is their income. So it's a very dicey situation, but I believe that, like I said, if UAE could survive COVID, they can always find their way around everything. That I just believed. I know they got us, and they will always, these two shall pass. They can always find their way around it. Some colleagues, even that are outside the UAE, they cannot come back to teach. So you see, some people are losing their jobs, employers, employees. There is that drag, that push and pull between everything. So it's a very dicey situation, especially for those in the field of education. But I know we'll always find a margin. Some employers are very nice. They're still very good with
Okay.
us right now. Yeah, yeah.
All right. So let me ask. All right. So let me ask. How did you actually maneuver or navigate this period of uncertainty? How did you do it? Let me know. You can advise
Ah,
others because it was not easy, and I could also see that the government has also put in place free mental health services for citizens, for
mm,
residents, so they can actually go there, and if they are having any stress during this period, they can go there and give out themselves, because people are going through a lot, really.
yeah,
Yeah, so
yeah.
just give us a highlight how you managed or
Ah,
navigated the uncertainty.
Uh, if I say I know what I'm doing, trust me, I don't. I just wake up every day and I'm like, okay, so what am I doing today? So the uncertainty is at least the fact that we're being informed regularly on the updates is good. So for us teachers, we've been doing online sessions, we've been teaching online, we've been having classes online, and we still have our way. Some other people who are in schools in other places, they are already facing the heat because some people are losing their jobs already. Some are, it's a whole catastrophe. For me, I still belong to the category where we are still doing online classes. So for us, yes, we are getting the stress of teaching online, but it's not really that bad for me yet. So we still have hope, and we're praying everything goes back to normal by next month. So I just trust they will fix this thing by next month. They should fix it. Let's just go back to the classroom. I know it's going to be a lot of adjusting to do for us teachers, especially because, hey, it's like we've lost time. We're behind with our lessons, schedules, a lot of things that we had planned to do, and the year is already getting to an end. So we are going to be like playing catch up now. Adjusting back to that is going to be a whole different thing. So yeah, hopefully I am still on the side of those who are still okay with the situation. So that's why.
Okay, thank you so much, Lady B. Sorry, I said Lady B. Teacher B, thank you so much for that wonderful way you answered the question. Because I want to ask you something a little bit personal, but do you see yourself as in the next 5 to 10 years in the UAE? Do you still want to be here? Do you still want to teach?
For education, yeah, I have plans for education. I have like plans for it. In the UAE, yeah, well, 5, 10 years, maybe I'll think about that part. But for the field of education, yes, of course, I have plans. I have plans of, maybe getting into producing and writing my own books, and, going further with my learning, getting more courses, developing myself also. And yeah, I do. The thing about education is this. I used to hear people say this thing in Cameroon. They say once you pick up a chalk, it's difficult to drop it. I did not understand the the meaning of that statement until I became a teacher. You get? So it's something that once you're in, especially if you're passionate about it, it's going to be difficult for you to leave it. So that's just it. So once we are in and we are passionate about it, it's going to be difficult for you to drop it. So, and I'm one of those who really enjoy what I do. I love my job. I love children. I love working with children. So, yeah, I still see a lot of potential. And some people think when we talk of education, it's only teaching. No, there is a lot you can do in the field of education. A lot. There's a lot you can do with the field of education. It must not necessarily be you being a teacher. You can become you can get into the management, you can study, you can have a child consulting firm, you can become a behavior analyst, you can become a speech therapist, you can become, there are a lot of things you can be in the field of education. Even if you're not outside the classroom, even there is a lot you can do outside the classroom apart from being a teacher, but you're still in the field of education. So once you're getting older, the goal should be you're working towards getting out of the classroom. Maybe you're working towards setting maybe your own early childhood center. You're working towards maybe setting your own consulting firm. You're working towards maybe becoming a publisher, a child author and publisher. So there is a lot you can do in the field of education. Back home, we know when they say education, we think only about teaching, but nowadays there's a lot. There is a lot. The last time I was in Cameroon, I realized that in the whole of Douala, I didn't see any speech therapist, like a center where children go there and they do this speech therapy, behavior management therapy. So these are opportunities that we as Africans, we can learn from here and implement them back home. If you can create something like that, maybe a child consulting firm where they can do the speech therapies, the behavior analysis there and all that, and you train people, you can train your staff, employ there. You are still in the field of education, but you've removed yourself from the classroom. You're now looking at it from, so there is a lot of growth. I still see myself in education, but maybe and most
Some,
possibly not in the classroom. Not in the classroom.
oh, all right. So thank you so much for that. I also want to ask because with the recent strikes and so on, many Africans are still looking forward coming over to the Gulf, right? So what would you
Yeah.
advise them? Should someone come to you and ask, oh, with whatever has happened, do you actually think that is the right choice for me? What are you definitely going to tell them?
Ugh. For now, it depends on what the person is coming here to do. Because, like I said, right now there's a lot of uncertainty in a lot of things. So, for now, I always just advise you wait, just hold on a bit. So at least if you're moving, you should have clarity of what you're going to do, how you're going to do it. If you don't have, and right now I don't think most of us have clarity on the situation and what the future holds. So it's not really a wise decision diving into uncertainty at the moment. You get? So unless you have like a clear picture of what the future is, I would just advise for you to wait till you get that clarity. Is UAE still a good option? Yes, it is. Once you have clarity of what you're coming here to do, how you intend to do it, just hold on and get the clarity you need. Then you can make that decisions, because right now you may think it's wise for you to do that, but just the fact that you don't have enough clarification on what the nearest future is, it puts you on a very uncomfortable position. You get? So I think you should just seek for clarity first.
All right, thank you so much. So you're talking about clarity. So what should someone have clarity about? the clarity and decide, right? So what should they have in mind? Because sometimes that made me to write a book. I titled Dear Dreamer, The Truth About Starting Over in a Foreign Land, right? And because sometimes when people just conceive the idea, if they think, or even though they have the clarity, they pick up their bags and start coming without having good orientation or without having good foresight. So, what if they have the clarity? What should someone look into before packing their bags to leave their home country, pursuing life abroad? What do you advise them?
Oh, that's a very good question. Very, very good question. I think recently there's something was happening in the UAE that they became conscious of people's qualifications. I don't know if your field experienced it, but I think those of us who are in the field of education and the field of health, they experienced it the most. So the government, they were more thorough with the qualification requirements for those working in these sectors. So most often when people just hear of the UAE, they feel like, okay, it's easy to go there, so they just want to go. And when they get here, the reality hits them. It becomes a different story. So some of the clarities you need to get before even thinking of coming to this country is understand how the system works. You need to understand how the system works. Then ask yourself, how can I fit into this system? What can I offer, or what skills do I have to offer that can give me income in this system? So somebody will say, okay, I have maybe a qualification in Cameroon. I don't want to mention any particular one. If that qualification could not get a job for you there, what makes you think you are moving from there to a more advanced system? Do you have the skills to fit into this advanced system? So the clarity you should be getting is, okay, I'm going to look for a job. For example, I want to move from Cameroon. I want to move to UAE. I need to get my passport ready. I need to attest my qualifications. If I don't have the qualifications, okay, what qualifications do I need to become a teacher? Those who are in the period of getting clarity, I have some people I advise also that are doing it right now. They're trying to do their catch courses. I'm like, okay, while the situation is like this, you try to build yourself up. So when things get better, you have the qualification, you're ready to move, or you can try to sort out the your qualification attestation and all these challenges you've been facing. Just get these things ready first, so you know that when you're moving, you know you're moving prepared, you're ready. You have your documents attested, you've studied, you have the requirements to do the particular job you want to do here. Seek advice and seek counsel. Like I said, a lot of people, they come here, their lives turned out the way they become, not because they didn't work hard. It's just because of the orientations they got from the beginning. Seek advice and seek orientation. Get good orientation on the skill you have, the requirements for that skill, the requirements to get into that industry. Those who are currently preparing themselves, once the clarity comes, they will be ready for the job market. One thing for certain that we're going to know, we're going to face is, after this situation, there is going to be a lot of job opportunities for some people, because some people left, some are not coming back. So you see that all these opportunities are going to show up. Now it is left for you to prepare yourself and know that, okay, when the opportunities are coming, I will be ready to grab them. That's what we mean by preparing yourself, getting clarity, getting your qualifications ready. And before you even move out of the country, please have a qualification, have something. If you don't have a qualification, have a skill, have something you can give to get income. You may not necessarily have a degree, know how to braid hair, know how to cook, know how to do something. Have a skill, have a handiwork that you can offer to get service, you offer a service and get paid for it. So that's just my advice on the part of getting the clarity while waiting for things to move back to normal.
All right. Thank you so much, Teacher B. Yes, so I have this other question. What will you advise the newcomers to do? Because we see that many people come here and they're really confused, all right, especially in the United Arab Emirates. I don't know for the people in the West, but subsequently, as I'll be interviewing people, I will definitely get to understand what
Mm.
it is like being a newcomer in another man's life. Because trust me, no matter how perfect you think a society is, you will definitely feel it because every society has its pros and its cons, right? What advice would you give to a newcomer or someone that is someone that and they don't want to make a mistake?
The first one is your orientation. Orientation. It starts from when you're packing your bags back home. Orientation. What, where are you going? What are you going to do? How are you going to do it? That's the first thing. If you can get this clarity, then I can say you're 50% good on the right path. Where are you going? What do you need to do? How do you need to do it? That's the clarity first. Now, when you get here, I will say one of the biggest factors that have contributed to my success story is the circle of people I have around me. So when you get here, the circle of you find yourself in, trust me, it can make or mar your UAE experience. It can make or mar your UAE experience. They can push you to dream big, or they can also make you to be like one of them. If you find yourself in a circle of people that are, let's say, they're cleaners, they're making 2,000, you going to get a job that pays 2,500, you're going to feel like a king in the jungle, right? So your circle of friends, the kind of people you move around with, they can make or mar your stay in this country. The orientation you get, that's the most important part once you get here. It's before you even get here, even you should already have that mental picture of what you want to do and how you want to do it. You should have that mental picture. So once you're landing here, you're getting straight into the implementation process. Okay, this is what I have. This is what I need to do. This is how I'm doing it. So you're getting straight into implementation. Like I said, once you're already here, and if you need clarity, please look for people that you can, you respect, that you see them doing well, maybe in a particular field that you admire. Seek, get clarity. Get clarity. Don't just limit yourself to your environment and where you live, the things that people around you are doing, because there's going to be a high probability that you turn out to be like the environment you find yourself in. So to be on a safe side, get that clarity and watch the people around you, watch the kind of people you hang out with.
Oh, okay. All right. Thank you so much for the answer. So, one other thing I want to actually ask is this is kind of like a personal reflection question. Looking back at your journey, what are you most proud of? Because sometimes we're traveling doing this and some people are never happy, some people are never grateful, and you want to see if you're trying to, because people are always comparing. People have not gotten to that point of um, s- contentment. So when you're asking them, are you happy? They're never happy because they're always in competition with someone else. So can you just tell us, looking
Mm.
back into your life, what are you most grateful for?
Ooh. I have three things I'm most proud of whenever I reflect back on my journey. The first one is how far I have come academic wise. And I look at myself and I'm like, girl, you good. Like you did it. So I've always wanted to further my studies, graduate, and so just walking to that stage on my graduation day, I can't really explain how happy I was. So I was so proud of that, being able to do that, further my studies and graduate. And the second thing I could say, when I look at my journey and I'm grateful and proud of, is the person I married. Yes, I know a lot of people will always be like, nah, in UAE, you cannot find love, you cannot blah, 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 blah. But yes, I belonged to that group too before. Trust me, I was one of those who was like, nah, not in this country, not here. But I'm grateful. Like, I kind of, let me say, UAE just gave me a piece of everything I prayed for. It's literally just gave me all of it. And if I would say I want to rate where I am in my life, I'm at that point of satisfaction. I'm satisfied. I'm okay. I'm happy. I am okay. I have a job I'm grateful for. I have an amazing man that I'm grateful for that I met
So
here
would you
also.
say you're
And
successful at
yeah,
this point?
I'm what?
Would you
Please come
say you're
again.
successful at this point?
Ah, it depends on what's your definition of success, though. So it depends on what your definition of
You define
success
success to
is.
be.
To me, it's just having the things I prayed for. So it depends on what your definition of success is. Some people, it could be when they have
Okay.
maybe like billion dirhams in their account. That is how they see it as success. The fact that I don't lack my basic necessities, I have all the things I've prayed for and I've wished for. My life is very simple. I wanted to grow up, further my studies, get married to a man that adores me, and have a baby. So I would say, to me, I'm very satisfied where I am right now. I'm okay with my life. And I'm grateful to God for, just giving me all the things I prayed for in the same, in his own time and blessings. Everything was just coming to, all the pieces of the
Okay.
puzzles were just, yeah, fitting.
Yeah, so I just want to ask, if you could speak to your, if you could speak to yourself before moving to Dubai, what would you say?
Hmm. If I could speak to my younger self before coming to UAE. Ah. I would still say it's worth it. Dare to dream. Like, dare to dream. Trust me, it's scary, it's challenging, it's going to test every part of you. It's going to build your resilience, but dare to dream. If you have that dream and you put in the hard work, you put in your prayers, hard work, you put in the dedication, trust me, you can make it. So just dare to dream. Just limp, even if you're scared, if you're uncertain about it, just take that leap of faith and dare to dream. That's just it. Just be bold. Dare yourself to dream. So yeah, is it gonna be easy? No, but will it challenge you? Yeah, but will it make you better? Definitely yes. So just dare to dream, dare to follow your dream. It will take you places. Dare to dream.
Okay, thank you so much. Any last words as we get to the end of this session? Do you have any last word for your African brothers and sisters who are still struggling, who are still thinking they cannot make life here? Do you have a word for them?
Yeah. Uh, for those who are already here, some people, especially those who just came, I would just tell them that every African has that moment when they just arrive UAE. There is always that moment of I want to go back. You know, just accept the situation first. Once you get to that moment of realization, like this is where you are, those times will come where you feel like you could get better somewhere else. You can also get better here in the UAE. I tell you, you can get better here. Just try to be the best in whatever you're doing. If you're a waiter, be the best waiter in UAE. If you're a security guard, be the best security guard in the UAE. If you're a teacher, be the best teacher in the UAE. So just try your best to be the best and be open for opportunities. Some people who are already here, they they get comfortable with maybe the jobs they are doing. They don't have this open mind of I can be more, I can do more, or I deserve more, I can get more, So you see somebody going in the same job for over 4 or 5 years, they're in the same job, same company, same salary. So like I said, my advice to people like that is you are worthy of more. Just dare to dream, dare to improve, dare to go out there and find better things. And the good thing about UAE is the only country where you can move from one industry, you do courses and you skip, you're in the next industry. That's one advantage too. So always dare to dream. Don't limit yourself, don't tie yourself down to one particular thing. Be open, be flexible, try to navigate your way around. You may not be successful in this particular field. Okay, next time try. What if I do this other one? What if I try this other industry? You never know. You never know. Like Robert Kiyosaki says, we do whatever we have until we have the money to fund what we love. So yeah, do whatever you love, but once make sure you're building yourself to fund your dream job, to fund what you love doing. So that's just it. And for those who are still looking at this place and they feel they want to come, they want to make a life here, it's still possible. Trust me, it is possible. Forget whatever anybody is telling you. Some people have come here and it didn't work for them and they are back in the country. Come and experience it for yourself. Your star may be different from somebody else's star, so you will never know. You can come here today and tomorrow you have a job and you're doing very fine. Don't judge based on maybe somebody's sad experience. Remember, it is their story, it is not the entire story. So it happened to them. It may not be a general something. So you can't make a general conclusion based on one person's experience. So try to experience it for yourself. Come experience it for yourself. Your story is completely different from another person's story. It may not work out for somebody else, but you can come here and trust me, you will work out, it may work out for you. So get the experience for yourself. Don't believe what some people who are trying to discourage you are saying. So just come and have the experience for yourself.
All right, guys, you have it. She said, come and have the experience for yourself. She's streaming live and direct from the United Arab Emirates. I don't know which Emirates though, but yeah, she's in the United Arab Emirates. Yeah, so thank you so much, Teacher B, for coming here and being vulnerable. Oh, you're in Dubai, okay. So for coming here and being vulnerable to tell us what you're going through, to give us advice to motivate others who are on the other side of the screen, to inspire through your own story. Thank you so much. As I said earlier, this is something that I want to keep on doing, and it's not a UAE thing anymore. I don't want to sit down people only from the UAE. I want people from all over the globe, right? Because sometimes you think life in another place is going to be all rosy and all nice, but trust you
Yeah.
me, those who are in those places have their own days that they thought maybe they would have been better off in their home countries. So this is
Mm.
something that is not going to be a UAE thing, as I said earlier. For those who are watching me, I'm not sure I have had a view on Facebook, but I know for sure I've had views on YouTube. So for those who are watching from YouTube, we'll be having the next session on Sunday next week with someone who is still in the UAE. Then subsequently, we're having people from US, from Canada, from wherever across the globe, because we are trying to give out the light. We are trying to give out very good information. We don't want hearsays. We don't want, I thought, we want people who are real, living in those places, real time, giving us real information and having real conversations, live and direct. Yeah, so thank you so much, Teacher B. I really do appreciate.
Welcome. Welcome. Thank you too for having me. I'm so grateful and I'm happy I was the first. I'm so
All right,
grateful
thank
for the privilege and thank you for the opportunity to.
All right. Uh, okay, so thank you so much, guys, for being here. For those who have been here from the start, when we had the mic issues until now, you're my real MVPs. Thank you so much. And please go share the good news, because I know you who is watching, you want to be in the US overnight. You want to
Yeah.
go to UK. You think that's where you have the moolah easily.
Mm.
But we're going to have people here that are going to tell you what it is like living in those places, so that before you go there, you've buckled yourself up. Before you go there, you've buckled yourself so you get the picture. You understand me? So you get the picture. Because I will always say this, and I'll say it loud and clear. It's not like we are discouraging people from to move abroad. No, we are not.
Yeah.
Because someone was telling me, if you go through my profile on YouTube, someone was telling me, oh, you're selling the UAE, you're trying to give something that is not there. People are struggling there. I was like, people struggle everywhere. There are pros and cons to everything. The fact that people don't put up their cameras each time they are drawn aback by the situation wherever they find themselves in the West does not necessarily mean that things are all smooth. People are going through stuff that they will not really tell you. I said there is something here in the Middle East that
Yeah.
most times, right, people don't get to understand. My mom said something. I put you up. She said the UAE is giving you something that you will not get it anywhere else. She said the fact that you can work
Yeah.
one job and be able to take care of yourself, that's what the UAE gives you. And it's giving you longevity of life,
Yeah.
because people are dropping dead not because they are sick, but because they are so exhausted. They are doing
Stress.
this, they are doing that, shifts, taking back to back shifts, and wanting
Mm.
to make life happen. So she said, that's one thing, because she was like, you is from the UAE, sometimes you glow more than even people who are from the other countries. And you start asking yourself, that I've tried to ask,
Yes.
but she said, because they are
Yes.
doing so much hard work from here, from this job to this job, from this hour to this hour, and then they still have to go to
Mm.
school because they want to upgrade. That is just some of the places. So you need to actually, I'm doing this for people to actually know where they are going to have the real information before you venture. Don't just go because you
Mm.
think in your head that it's going to be okay. No, it's not.
Mm.
It's not. Yeah. So thank you so much, Lady B. Let's take the time off. I really appreciate you coming. Yeah.
Thank
Bye bye.
you. Thank you too. Thank.
All right, so guys, thank you so much. I will end the live streaming now. Stay blessed, stay well, and I'm definitely going to be here next week Sunday with some other person who is in Dubai. I'm sure she's in Dubai or the United Arab Emirates. Then subsequently, we're going to have people from Japan. We're going to have people from the US, from the UK, from Canada, from Belgium, from Germany, those countries that are actually the countries that you want to be in. So thank you so much and have an amazing day. And bye for now. Bye bye.